What if one of the nutrients most people think about only for bones was quietly influencing how your brain ages? What if that nagging difficulty concentrating, that persistent mental fatigue, that feeling of brain fog you just can't shake, or even the looming threat of long-term cognitive decline could be linked, at least in part, to something as simple as low vitamin D? It might sound surprising, but this isn't a fringe idea. Around 1 billion people worldwide are estimated to have vitamin D deficiency or insufficiency. That's a staggering number. And as this silent epidemic has grown, scientists have become increasingly interested in whether this so-called sunshine vitamin plays a much bigger role in brain health than we ever imagined. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the surprising and still unfolding connection between vitamin D and the modern, aging brain. Let's start with a fact that reframes this entire conversation. Vitamin D isn't just a vitamin, it's actually a secosteroid hormone. When sunlight, specifically UVB radiation, hits your skin, your body kicks off a remarkable chemical reaction, producing a precursor molecule. This molecule then travels to the liver and then the kidneys, undergoing a series of transformations before it becomes biologically active. And here's where it gets really interesting for our brains. Unlike many vitamins that have very specific, limited jobs, this active vitamin D hormone has a master key. Its receptors are found in cells all throughout the body, from our immune system to our muscles. But the discovery that truly changed everything was finding these receptors scattered throughout the human brain in areas critical for memory, planning, and higher-level thought. Suddenly, a nutrient for bones was a major player in neuroscience. So if we evolved to make this crucial substance from the sun, why are so many of us running low? The answer lies in the dramatic shift in how we live. Humans evolved outdoors, but modern life happens almost entirely indoors. We commute in cars and subways, sealed away from the sky. We work long hours in offices under fluorescent lights. We exercise inside climate-controlled gyms and spend our evenings bathed in the blue glow of screens. We have become, in many ways, an indoor species. This lifestyle shift is the biggest piece of the puzzle, but it's not the only one. Conscious and necessary sunscreen use blocks the UVB rays that trigger vitamin D production. Where you live matters too. People in northern climates simply don't get enough strong sunlight for much of the year. Darker skin pigmentation, which contains more melanin, acts as a natural sunblock, requiring longer sun exposure to produce the same amount of vitamin D. And on top of all that, factors like aging, which makes our skin less efficient at this process, obesity, where body fat can sequester the vitamin, and certain dietary patterns all contribute to the problem. The result of this perfect storm is that low vitamin D levels have become a global health concern, hiding in sight plain. This leads to the critical question: what is this hormone actually doing in our brains? Scientists are still mapping out the full story, but the picture emerging is one of a master regulator, a sort of maintenance supervisor for our neural command center. For one, vitamin D helps manage inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation in the brain is a known culprit in cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases, and vitamin D appears to have a calming, regulatory effect on the brain's immune cells. It also supports nerve growth and brain plasticity, the very processes that allow us to learn and form memories. It even influences the production of key neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which regulate our mood, focus, and executive function. So think of vitamin D less like the fuel your brain burns and more like the skilled technician who keeps the entire power plant running smoothly, ensuring the conditions are perfect for optimal function. Now, let's connect this to a feeling many of us know too well: brain fog. People with a documented low vitamin D often report a cluster of symptoms: fatigue, low mood, and that frustrating difficulty with concentration. But here's where the science gets complicated. These symptoms are incredibly common and can have countless causes, from stress and poor sleep to other nutrient deficiencies or medical conditions. So while correcting a vitamin D deficiency might be a crucial piece of the puzzle for some individuals, it isn't a magic bullet that explains every case of cognitive difficulty. It's one potential factor in a very complex web. Moving beyond brain fog, researchers have also found concerning links to more serious cognitive decline. Many large population studies have observed a clear association between lower vitamin D levels and poorer cognitive performance in older adults. These studies have found links with reduced executive function, that's your ability to plan and solve problems, as well as slower mental processing speed, memory difficulties, and even a significantly increased risk of developing dementia over time. But, and this is a critical point, association does not prove causation. It's possible that low vitamin D is a direct contributor to these issues, but it's also possible that it's simply a marker for other risk factors. People with lower vitamin D levels may also be less physically active, have poorer nutrition, or suffer from other chronic health issues that are the true drivers of cognitive decline. Scientists are working hard to untangle this to see if low vitamin D is the cause or just an accomplice that travels alongside the real culprits. Given these potential risks, it's important to know who is most likely to be deficient. The list includes older adults, people living in northern latitudes, and anyone with limited sun exposure, like those who are homebound or work night shifts. Individuals with darker skin tones, those with obesity, and people with digestive disorders that impair fat absorption, like Crohn's or celiac disease, are also at much higher risk. And the most challenging part is that many people have no obvious symptoms at all, allowing the deficiency to quietly persist for years. So how do you know where you stand? You can't guess. The only reliable way to know your vitamin D status is through a simple blood test ordered by a healthcare provider. This test measures the level of vitamin D in your system and allows for a personalized recommendation. This step is vital because more isn't always better. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, which means your body stores it, and excessive supplementation can build up to toxic levels, causing its own set of health problems. So the mantra here is clear. Test, don't guess. So what should we take away from all of this? Vitamin D clearly matters for the brain, but it's only one part of a much larger, holistic picture. True, lasting brain health is built on multiple pillars. It's built on consistent physical activity, nutritious eating patterns, and quality restorative sleep. It's strengthened by social connection, managing cardiovascular risk factors like blood pressure, and constantly challenging your mind with new learning. And of course, it involves addressing specific nutrient deficiencies like vitamin D when they are present. There may never be one magic nutrient that single-handedly protects our brains from aging, but the science of vitamin D teaches us a profound lesson. The foundations of our cognitive health aren't always found in futuristic technology or complex pharmaceuticals. Sometimes they're found in the fundamentals we've started to neglect, in sunlight on our skin, in the simple act of movement, in the nourishment we get from our food, and in understanding the remarkable biology that keeps us thinking, remembering, and experiencing the world. The sunshine vitamins journey from our skin to our brain is a powerful reminder that ignoring our most basic health needs can have surprisingly widespread consequences.